The issue I selected that I felt would be important to the future in 2017 is the sustainable development of cities and communities on a global scale. This is a legitimate global concern that is addressed in the United Nations Sustainable Development Goal 11 and ARUP's Drivers of Change subcategory of Urbanization 2.0. Because this is a complex global issue, there are many key ideas and constraints that must be addressed. A few of the most prominent are environmental impact, gentrification, waste, access to open public spaces, access to public transportation, walkability, alleviation of informal living settlements, rising levels of pollution, energy consumption, food deserts, and disability accommodations, just to name a few. Because this is already a global issue, future designers will have to focus on reversing the current problems already in place in unsustainable communities, while also being proactive and building adaptable solutions for sustainable communities in the future. In existing communities, they should focus on alleviating the pressures of overpopulation and the waste, pollution, and health hazards that it comes with. Education on proper waste disposal and greater frequency of public disposable workers in the area are possible ways to assist in the betterment of these regions. In regards to being proactive, designers will want to design cities and communities that are highly adaptable and can change over time as better methods for sustainable living are discovered. This way, less work is needed over time to correct outdated methods. I don't believe that an entirely new design field needs to be created. Rather, the current field will simply need to be expanded. There will need to be a growing effort to consider each and every stakeholder in the community, and design input should be requested and sought after from all local business owners, landlords, the auto industry, local governments, park experts, anyone and everyone that plays a role in the community. From there, an adaptable framework can be created and shared. Special attention will need to be paid to the past, and additionally, biomimicry may play an important role as we see many animals living cohesively in sustainable communities that we can learn from. As touched on in the previous answer, I believe design will be something that everybody's aware of and emphasized in every industry and even in individuals' daily lives. Therefore, on these future design teams, I see collaboration happening between all impacted members of the community or city attempting to be built. Urban designers will take input from store owners, transportation experts, park goers, bike path users, apartment dwellers, and more. Additionally, I think even local shops like mom and pop restaurants will implement some sort of designer into their current teams to help their businesses better fit into the community at large. In the designer interviews, one of the most prevalent trends I noticed was that all designers emphasize the importance of feedback and listening to the customer. I think future design needs to not only consider as many stakeholders as feasibly possible, but also reach out and continually collect feedback from them with each new rendition. Highly responsive processes that are human-centric, ever-changing, and adaptable are the future of sustainable urban development. Many of the potential solutions are aided by the help of technology and improved methodology, much like Charles and Ray did over time. This first issue has begun to be solved by organizations like the New Story, who built a 3D printed neighborhood in southern Mexico for people living without adequate shelter. This population totals around 3 billion people, and there's still much work to be done. 50 new homes were built and printed at an incredibly cheap price by a 3D printer that can withstand the natural elements and provide safe, sanitary, and sustainable living conditions. This is a great solution for starting to implement sustainable practices into socioeconomic groups that may not be able to afford solar power electric cars and all organic, locally sourced produce, or the more expensive routes towards sustainability. And it would ideally be carried out by the public sector, aka the government. In regards to building sustainable cities for the future, one of the most leading efforts is happening right here in Arizona and is a brainchild of Bill Gates. 24,000 acres of land outside of Buckeye, Arizona was purchased for $80 million with plans of a fully integrated, sustainable smart city using new manufacturing techniques and distribution models. Another local sustainable development solution project in the area is brought to you by the company Cul-de-sac, who is building the country's first car-free neighborhood, offering 3 times the amount of normal green space, lower carbon emissions, and incredible walkability. Other projects like this include Toyota's Woven project, which will run entirely on hydrogen power, and Masdar in Abu Dhabi, which is a completely carbon-free city. To communicate the premise of these solutions on a micro scale, I will be mimicking the daily life of a resident who may live in a smart city described above.